What I think is this, that both of us are trying to make our way in an economic environment which is difficult to do the right thing in. I'm doing it by charging more for the cheese, and you're doing it by scaling. But what we really need is for society at large to realise that the present food and farming system we've got is not sustainable. And if David Attenborough called it out on the oceans by drawing attention to the plastic crisis, really we've got a similar emergency on the land. It's just no one's called it yet. You could say that Michael Gove maybe is drawing attention to the fact we need to change things, but it isn't yet orthodoxy that we are living beyond our means. We are stripping all the natural capital of the land, and we can't go on doing this for very much longer.
The ocean thing's really, really interesting, isn't it? Because it isn't that we didn't know that. The ones that wanted to know knew, didn't they? I mean, and
we've known it for ages, actually.
So it's really interesting that series of programmes has developed that amount of debate and that amount of awareness, and it's really simple. That just, what was it, 3 or 4 programmes? And even
actually a few scenes where there were a couple of images which stuck in people's minds. But the crucial thing was, David Attenborough is a national, if not an international treasure, and he's a man who is trusted. And for him to say we've got a planetary emergency in the oceans has just gone really deep. And now it's no longer acceptable not to act. And we haven't yet had that equivalent for the land.
We haven't. And so my whole learning experience with Nuffield, the penny dropped with me, and it certainly dawned on me that the global system of food production cannot continue in the way it is because of population growth and resource depletion and all the rest of it. I got that from my 10 weeks of travelling around the world, but it dawned on me. I mean, I completely changed my direction of my Nuffield study because of it. And it's that sort of journey, that level of learning and awareness that we've got to take consumers on somehow. We've got to find a way of doing it. And perhaps, in a very similar way to the Blue Planet thing, we need to do that for the food system and actually then demonstrate to consumers exactly what's wrong and where we need to go to, and really prick their conscience. And because it's the one thing that unites everyone, isn't it?
I think
more so than the sea.
And it unites.
It's food. It's food. It's something that we all partake in every single day.
And it's interesting that it unites us, even though we're coming at our farming from different perspectives. Actually, we have a shared view of things.
Absolutely. And to do nothing is to just follow that trend line down until we're fully industrialised and nothing has any value, and no one has any conscience about what they're doing, other than them that have educated themselves to a degree and actually do make them conscious decisions. But I don't know. Do we need some sort of revolution?
I think
maybe we need David Attenborough to.
Yeah, we need a shock of seeing how bad it is, an authoritative and well-respected voice to call it out, and then we need a vision for how we can go from where we are now to where we need to be.
But in many respects, it should be easier, shouldn't it?
What, to farm in?
Than the message about the seas and the pollution and the plastic. Food should be easier
because it's more visible.
Of course, it should. Yeah. I mean, we're not in the sea. We're not living in the sea. Obviously we can see that, and it's dire. And it's to see these mountains of plastic and floating and all that stuff. So the food should be easier. It should be easier.
It should be, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. So that's where we need to head.